Look at this wall. You are thousands of feet in the air. One tiny slip of the hand, one missed foothold, and gravity takes over. Most climbers mitigate that reality with gear. They spend their lives tethered to heavy metal carabiners and thick nylon ropes, trusting their survival to the grace of engineering. In that world, a fall is a mistake you can learn from. Free soloists strip away all of that technology. They leave nothing between themselves and the granite but their bare hands and a bag of chalk. This chart maps out climbing fatalities. You can see right here that unroped climbing, which includes everything from easy scrambling to elite free soloing, accounts for nearly 1 out of every 3 lives lost on the rock. A crumbling hold, a sudden rain shower, or a momentary lapse in focus results in a fall that nobody survives. The sport demands something the human body can rarely guarantee: perfection that does not waver. The origin of this uncompromising standard goes back over a century to an Austrian climber named Paul Preuss. He established a strict moral code for mountaineers. Preuss argued that a mountain should be met entirely on its own terms. He viewed the basic ropes and ice axes of early alpine climbing as artificial aids that gave climbers a false sense of ability. If you couldn't reach the summit relying solely on your natural strength, he believed you didn't deserve to be there. In 1913, Preuss went climbing alone and never returned. Modern climbers suspect he may have simply stopped for a snack. If a knife slipped from his hand, a split-second instinct to reach for it would have been enough to pull him off the wall. By the 1970s and 80s, a group of climbers in Yosemite known as the Stonemasters embraced that incredible risk, but paired it with elite athleticism. Climbers like John Bacher treated the rock as a canvas for extreme physical expression. They introduced dynamic, explosive movements to the big walls. Bacher trained ruthlessly, developing enough upper body power to perform one-armed pull-ups using only 2 fingers, turning free soloing into an elite athletic discipline. Yet at age 52, Bacher fell to his death. He was climbing a wall in California he had successfully scaled many times prior, navigating a route well within his capabilities. Muscle and explosive power allowed climbers to push past previous physical barriers, but no amount of physical endurance completely eliminates the risk of a fall. It only delays it. Today, the most recognized face of the sport is Alex Honnold. He has pushed the mental boundaries of the sport to their limit. When neuroscientists scanned Honnold's brain, they found his amygdala, the fear center, requires much higher stimulation to activate than average. He couples this biological trait with meticulous preparation, mapping every single finger and toe hold before ever climbing the wall alone. We can contrast Honnold with veteran soloist Peter Croft, who survived his era with a different mental toolkit. Croft maintained a strict discipline of knowing exactly when his focus was off and simply walking away from the wall for the day. Staying alive in vertical space demands a flawless level of cognitive control and risk assessment. Very few humans can sustain that mental rigor over a lifetime. But the harsh reality is that many elite soloists survive the hardest, most dangerous climbing routes in the world, only to fall on climbs far below their maximum skill level. British climber Jimmy Jewell was known for soloing highly technical ascents multiple times in a single day. Yet he died slipping on a trivial shortcut route after leaving a pub, wearing regular shoes rather than proper climbing gear. This graph maps cognitive engagement against technical difficulty. As the route becomes less physically demanding, the brain instinctively drops its active concentration, causing the risk of a fatal cognitive lapse to sharply spike. Familiarity creates an illusion of safety. In free soloing, a climber's own wandering mind is often their greatest threat. You can train your body for decades, mapping every inch of a route in your mind, but you can never control the mountain itself. Derek Hersey slipped when a sudden rain shower slicked the granite beneath his feet. Marc-Andre Leclerc pushed into harsh, unpredictable alpine environments like this one, ultimately vanishing during a descent, likely taken by falling ice or an avalanche. Michael Reardon successfully finished a highly technical climb in Ireland. He was simply standing on a ledge just above the water when a rogue wave surged upward, sweeping him into the sea. Climber Dean Potter tried to engineer a safety net by inventing free base climbing, wearing a parachute to survive a potential fall. He died striking a wall during a high-speed wingsuit flight. Even with complex backup systems, the margin for error remains razor-thin. Human mastery is an illusion when placed against the random, violent indifference of nature. What began as a solitary, intensely private pursuit has evolved into a global spectacle. Climbs are now broadcast live from commercial structures like Taipei 101, turning extreme vulnerability into entertainment. Millions watch these streams, often viewing these athletes as immortal figures of achievement. But the fatality statistics show they are profoundly vulnerable. This growing visibility forces the climbing community to ask difficult questions. What responsibility do spectators, media platforms, and mentors hold when they cheer on a sport that explicitly courts death? Free soloing will likely endure as the purest test of human potential. But no amount of extreme training, unique brain chemistry, or public admiration can alter the physical reality of the sport. The rock does not care who you are, and the ground is always waiting.